Hi everyone! So today is day 8 of our Cricut Christmas crafting challenge and we'll be making these beautiful felt lanterns. For today's craft we're going to use our Cricut cutting machine, a standard grip cutting mat. You can also use the pink fabric mat if you have one. Then I'm using stiffened felt, and this is probably the easiest type to use when it comes to cutting with your fine point blade. So before I add my felt onto my Cricut mat, I'm going to just place down a piece of transfer paper, and in that way I'll protect my mat from all the lint from the actual felt. Then you can use whatever glass jar that you have available. I'm using this one. It doesn't really matter the size. I'll show you in a second how to measure it when it comes to designing your template. And then last but not least, you need a glue gun or some type of strong adhesive glue in order to add your felt to your glass jar. When it comes to measuring your glass jar, just take your measuring tape and measure the area that you want your design to cover. So the height of mine is about 3 inches, and then you're going to take your measuring tape and just run it all the way around, and mine is about 10.8. So the design that I'm going to make on Design Space is going to be 3 inches high and 10.8 wide. When you open Design Space, click on the New Projects tab at the top. And the first thing we want to do is just add a template for our actual bottle. So if you go onto Shapes and you click onto the square, we need to go and change the size according to our measurements that we took earlier. So the first thing we need to do is just unlock this little lock at the top. So click on that and then go into the width and change that to whatever the width of your bottle was. So mine was 10.8, and then the height I'm going to change to 3 inches. There we go. So what we then want to do is we want to go ahead and add a cutout. So this can be a star, or it can be a design like a Christmas tree or an angel or anything like that. So what I want to do is I want to do a star. So I'm going to click on Shapes and then click on the star. So just go to the top and change the color to make it a little bit easier. And then I want to just highlight both the star and the template and go to a line at the top and say center. And that's just going to move it right to the center of our template. So what we want to do is we want to actually have the star cut out of our template. So once you have both of those elements highlighted, you can go and say slice. What will then happen is if you click on the star and move it out, you'll have another star cut out. You can move that out and delete it, and delete that one as well. Now you have the star cut out of your template. We can now go ahead and say make it. I'm going to add my felt to my mat. So I'm going to say on mat. I'm using a 12 by 12 inch mat, and I'm going to say confirm. I always check my settings on the left hand side. It's a basic cut on mat, 12 by 12 inch. You can say continue. To set my base material, I'm going to click on Browse All Materials. In all categories, you can click on the down arrow, go down to Felt, and then I'm going to use the Felt Stiff. Click on that and say Done. My pressure, I'm changing to more, and I'm using my fine point blade. I can now go ahead, add my felt to my mat, and insert my mat into my machine. So before adding my felt to my actual mat, I'm going to take a piece of transfer paper, the size of my felt, and I'm going to add that shiny side down. So if you pull the backing off, you're going to put the outside onto your mat and the sticky side to the top. So I'm going to just add that to my mat before removing the backing. And then adding my felt on top of that. Once your mat has been measured, you can go ahead and make your cut. Before unloading your mat, be sure to just lift up the corner of your cut to make sure that it's actually cut through. If not, just press the C button or the cut button again and rerun your cut. If your cut has gone all the way through, you can unload your mat and remove your design from your mat. Now that we have our cut design, the first thing we want to do is just add a little bit of hot glue around our design. So if you just go around the edges, then going to place it down on our bottle and just press it down gently so that the little corners it adheres to properly. You can then flip your bottle around and we're basically going to just add glue on the edges. And stick it down. Do the same on the other side. And pull it closed. And there you go. Add a little LED tea light candle in there and this will make the perfect addition for your Christmas table.